Hello, this is Victor at RestoreYourMercedes.com. This video is for Mark in Georgia, and here I have a set of throttle bodies from 600 SL. This is an original unit that was installed on the vehicle originally since day one. This is a replacement unit that was installed some time ago, I don't know when. Wires look pretty good, but I still went through it just for the good measure, because since I have both of them, might as well to do both, so they're out of question. Both throttles are connected to the e-gas module from V12. That's mine, used to be mine. That's Victor's. Cruise control didn't work on this one, but for the bench test purposes, it is irrelevant because I just need to make an operational test plus readouts recorded what these units are giving out. Now you can see still missing bolts here because I'm gonna open covers just to see internals on this one. This one I already did. But this one, I want to take a look because this is an old school one, and I want to, just take a quick peek after bench test is over. Once I remove it off the bench and before I pack it and mail it, I will take a quick look. Temperatures. This one runs at around 90 something, which is okay. This one runs at around 80 something, that is okay. That's just to show that these units had been working for a long time. It takes a while for them to warm up to these temperatures. And this is the cold unit, for example. As you can see, it runs, it doesn't run, it just sits at 67 degrees ambient temperature over room. Now, units had been energized like this for probably 2 days by now. So I'm going to remove my linkage here. Because these are two different units, they make different noises, and that's totally normal. This one, for example, when it's cold, it will be making screeching sound, and that's okay. This one is making some sort of like a vibrating sound. That's just the way these are. You can feel the plate over here vibrates a little bit, and this one vibrates way less. And that's the difference in gearing, because the gears are different in these units, and return spring tensions are also different. So therefore, they do make different noises. Nothing to be alarmed of. Clean up overall, both cleaned off very nicely, as you can see. And original, we cleaned off nice, and they do work great. I'm just gonna do the bench test here. Bench test does not let me open throttles all the way because that's the limitation of control module. It does not see all the computers, so you got a bunch of computers in the vehicle, so communications to other computers are obviously not available at this point. It's just a standalone, but it's good enough for bench test purposes because the original throttle wires, these wires, they were completely destroyed, very bad condition, terrible. So these were good, but I just replaced them anyhow, just for good measure. The sheeting was cut, it was taped over, there was some wire that was cut open, so moisture gets in there, gets into the insulation, under the insulation, rusts it out, and you don't want that to happen. So might as well just do both. Operational test basically is just, that's what it's doing, just open and close both throttle bodies in sync. As you can see, they're totally perfectly synced. And readout test. Basically, readouts, this is just to see voltages. They're not going to be exact, but close enough. Like the R1 and R1 on both throttles here, these are never the same. These are usually very, very close, as you can see. And that's the throttle plate position voltage. So when we open our linkage, we open the master throttle body linkage, our voltages should follow. So we have 2.56, 2.56 on the primary one. This is a secondary 2.56. You see, these are more or less synced, and then we have 3.84, 2.45. That's a secondary voltage from the potentiometer itself. 1.99 on the bottom one, 1.99 on the top, 4.51, 2.9. So all the readings are pretty much within specs. This is what I usually see on all my bench tests here. So if we close it a little bit, take a look at readings. It takes a little bit before readings are shown. 4.21, 4.19, pretty fine. See how this one is vibrating. That's okay. I've seen this many times. Most of these throttles work just like that. Once air will be passing, I can lessen the vibration, but I don't want to do it. I mean, this is factory set spring. I can play around with spring tension, but that's factory set. I don't want to disrupt it. So let it make the noise it wants to make. It's fine. So basically, I guess that will be all for me. I mean, these are the readings. They all work. Again, it takes a little bit of time before readings are shown, but both units are good to go, ready to be installed. Oh yeah, this one has gasket on it. Gasket is not really bad. I don't see any rips or splits. Once you tighten this unit to intake manifold, it'll pretty much seal alright. I do not suggest putting any kind of sealant on these gaskets. Usually, and I've tested it before and I've done this before, reusing original gaskets like that, well, old gaskets I would rather say. I mean, yeah, it's recommended to replace them, but if you don't have them, once I put these throttles back on, I do smoke test, they never leak. So I've done sometimes my own throttles after reused gaskets like 4 times. But again, I mean, ideally, yes, for customers I always replace them, because, you know, new rebuilt throttle, new gasket, you put it on, and off they go. PCV pipes are okay. Yeah, there is some oxidation, of course. 25-year-old unit, of course there will be some, but they both cleaned off quite well. Again, covers are loose because, as you can see, as you can hear, but that's because I'm going to look into this one, because this is an older one. I need to see the gear after the bench test, once the grease and all that. Well, long story short, I just need to take a peek. So basically this is all. I mean, this is the end of this bench test, and both units are ready to go and ready to be installed on the vehicle. Alright, so this is all for me. This is Victor at RestoreYourMercedes.com. Thank you for watching.